What it do, man? It's your boy Josh. We back up in this thing with another one. We woke up this morning. It's another beautiful day. All praise to the Most High, man. Let's get it. Guys, I have a story time for you. And if you guys have seen my content over the past 2 years, some of you guys have realized that I have become a very, very spiritual person. Somebody that started my spiritual journey started this year, basically 2025. But I've been doing YouTube for nearly 2 years. And I want to say the last 3 months have been the most ever-changing in my life. The most craziest thing happened to me. And guys, I'm about to tell y'all the craziest story that I found myself in which I was truly in awe and became immediately fearful of God and His power, bro. It humbled me. And it brought me to my knees, and it really made me fully rely and depend on Him. I've never seen something so coincidental, something so... Let's just get into the story, man. So, guys, I'm going to be very transparent with you. I'm going to tell you guys a story that I'm not very too proud of. It's kind of embarrassing, and this happened months ago, and I now have the confidence, and now I feel comfortable showing or sharing this with you guys, because I know that this can eventually, help you guys. You guys don't have to experience this the hard way like I did, and have to experience the emotional roller coaster that I had to experience. And so, without further ado, just the bottom line up front, what happened at the beginning of this year that made me fear God is that I ended up getting a woman pregnant. Now, to give you guys some context, I am a 27-year-old man who is a Christian, who wants to have a wife, who wants to have children, wants to do things, but I will admit that I am not a perfect being. And I was fornicating a lot, something that I struggle with. One of the sins that I struggle deeply with is lust. A lot of the times when I wake up in the morning and all the way until the time I go to sleep, I literally am in awe and kind of disgusted with myself by how much lustful thoughts that enter my head, how much women and the thought of being with a woman in a physical sense takes up space in my mind, how I think about that more than thinking about the purpose that God has called me on. And, me being a guy that believed in God, like you guys have seen me on my videos, even last year, a follower of Christ, try to live like Christ, do this, preaching and saying, and basically giving advice about what people should do. And a lot of the times I don't find myself finding my own advice, which is why I ended up in the situation of where I ended up being in earlier this year, where I ended up getting a woman pregnant, a woman that, to give you guys some more context, that I was not even seeking or had any intentions of being with long term. It was a complete 100% lustful physical relationship that I had no desire of making it anymore. And I had acknowledged that well before the relationship had even started, at the beginning stages of the relationship, and then even in the later stages in the relationship. Even around the time where I had been with this woman 3/4 of a year, so about 9 months, still doing, this. I'm now almost coming up on a year of having relations with this woman, and what happens ends up happening. And the crazy thing about it is that I had seen all the symbols and signs of, and also like the Holy Spirit moving in me saying, hey, if you're giving advice to all these young men to live a life like this and to helping them become the better version of themselves, why are you not adhering to the same advice? Why are you not being disciplined when it comes to your sexual energy and to managing your lust? Why are you not running away from lust? Why are you not running away from this sin? Why are you willing to acknowledge all of the downturns and the slippery slopes of a lot of other things? But when it comes to lust and when it comes to women and being sexually satisfied, why are you willing to put a blind eye to that? And a lot of us young men do that. A lot of my young men out here that are watching me, that are similar like me, where we want to be in a relationship with women that follow God, that follow Christ, but we turn a blind eye to having sex. That is like the one thing that I notice in a lot of men. And that's why I don't fear bringing up this conversation or bringing up this topic, because I know that a lot of us young men can do X, Y, and Z. Oh, we can go to the gym. Oh, we can, be right spiritually. We can be right mentally. We can do all these steps to make ourselves a better version of ourselves. But why is it that we don't want to apply any sort of discipline when it comes to our lusts, managing our bodies? Why do we look at ourselves as men and saying, oh, like, it's okay for us to sleep with multiple women, or it's okay and it's cool that we have multiple sexual partners, and it's okay if we got a rotation and we have a roster? Why are we saying that it's okay when we know the end state of where we're trying to be? See, you're saying, oh, it's okay to have a roster, it's okay to use women, but you want to have a wife. It's okay to, see women and only have a means to an end for them, only seeing them for physically, accepting them for that, but you want to have a wife. You want to have children one day. You probably are like me. I would like to have a daughter one day. And I had to honestly be thinking, how would I feel if my daughter had came across a man like me? I would not like that. I would not like anybody to treat my daughter in that way, as treat my daughter as just flesh, to use her and not look at her as a person, but just only a means to an end, only to satisfy one thing. And so I saw all the symbols, and I was like, yeah, God, I want to have a wife, but I'm single. I'm a young black man. I'm filled with all this testosterone. I'm lifting all these weights. I just have to, release myself. And so, it's not all end all be all. I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to get anybody pregnant. It's okay as long as I don't get her pregnant. And so to guys, I'm going to give you exactly how God came in and because he showed me every single symbol and sign. All those excuses I was given, I would give that excuse knowing that it was just only a way for me to accept me who I was. I was like, yeah, God, I'll do everything what you say, but this is where I'm going to live my life the way that I want to live. I told God, I'm not listening to you. He showed me all the symbols and signs. The Holy Spirit was shaking in me. He was making me, he was like, hey man, you should probably stop messing with these girls. Stop fornicating. You say you want to live like this. You say you want to get here, but you're not doing the actions and the steps to get you there. You're not living like me. So I'm not going to cover you in an area in which you are intentionally choosing to defy me. And so, guys, I had completely, rid God off. I was like, man, I'm not going to quit this. I'm going to continue to sleep with women. I'm going to continue to stay in this relationship that I know that is only temporary, that I don't have any intentions of making her my wife. I don't have any intentions of stopping and going celibate or exercising any sort of abstinence. I don't. God has shown me all the symbols and signs, and I said, yeah, I'm not going to exercise discipline in this matter. And I remember it like it was yesterday. So the day that this baby was conceived, I was feeling good, had a couple drinks. I was a little under the influence, you know what I'm saying? Feeling good. It was like the weekend or something like that, And I go over to her house, and we did what we were doing. And after doing what we had did, God humbled me too, bro. Not only did I ignore him, but I was also kind of mocking him in a way by passing off judgment to others. If you guys have seen my videos in the past, if y'all been rocking with me, I always say never pass judgment to others. Never view somebody else's downsides and things that they may be struggling with, and because it may not be the same struggle as yours, you kind of look at yourself as, you know, this high and mighty type of guy. And that's exactly what I did, because that same exact night that I'm with this girl, that I'm with this woman, laying in bed after we had fornicated together, I was like, man, I don't see exactly why, you know, so many people in the black community have children out of wedlock. I don't get how hard it is. Why can't you just, you know, pull out? Why are you intentionally nutting in these girls? Why are we, if you know you gonna nut in this girl, why you ain't wearing no condom? See, me, I was pulling out. I wasn't exercising safe sex. I was raw dogging it. And after I had just got done raw dogging, not only once, but 2 times within that past hour or two, I had the decency, that arrogance to literally be like, yeah, man, I'm 27 years old, been doing this thing, been sleeping with women, ain't been correcting myself. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know I know how to pull out. I know how to be responsible. I'm Big Josh, you know what I'm saying? I don't see why all these other people, same age as me, that look like me, can't do what I'm doing. I'm still able to do everything that they doing, but I'm being safe about it. See, I'm not, why can't they be like me, man? Like, why y'all out here? Do y'all realize the consequences of having a child with a woman that you not, bro? I'm talking reckless, bro. I'm feeling good, you know what I'm saying? I'm popping my shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, hey, can't nothing touch me, dog. Can't nothing touch me, bro. Oh my God. So I'm talking to her about that, by the way. We were sitting there watching a show, and I don't know how the conversation came up, but I just started going in. I just started going crazy, man. I was like, man, I don't get why these folks, why these kids out here, man, same age, man, they just can't exercise no discipline. That same exact day, while I'm speaking, my semen is swimming up swimming up to her ovaries. Me over there talking as reckless. I pulled out, right? But apparently some had gotten. See, that's how I know God is powerful, because when she came and told me that she was pregnant, I was like, there's no way. I did all the steps. I did what I always do. I'm trying to make sense out of it, but that just shows you how strong and how powerful God really is. I was there. I was like, there's no way. Like, I know what I did. I pulled out, but for somehow, some way, some got in there, and a baby was conceived. And it doesn't take a lot to get it. All it takes is millions in there, bro. And with that being millions in there, bro, all it takes is a little microscopic. All it takes is, it doesn't take much. So understanding that, I was like, well, it had to have happened. God showed himself there that month, that day, showed me how powerful he is and how quickly he can come down here and shut. If you continue to ignore him, if you continue to not do what he's asking you to do, and you continue to live life how you want to live it, and you continue to think that you know better. See, that's the problem with Adam and what Eve did. You know, they thought they knew more than God. They didn't listen to God because they thought they had it all figured out. And now look at us. It has doomed humanity for eternity. We now have to live the rest of our lives with the desires of battling sin. All because we have this arrogance that we know more than God, and therefore we shouldn't listen to him. And therefore we don't fear him, and we don't acknowledge his power. Which is why I'm making this video, and why I had to put, you know, how I was going to be viewed upon. Because to give you, I ended up getting an abortion. I'll let you guys, I'm be fully transparent. That's out, the cat's out the bag now. I put myself and my ability to be judged by others, I'm using it as an example as to preach to you guys about the importance of listening to the symbols and signs and being in stride with what God is telling you to do. Fellas, we know that we have to control our lust. If you don't control your lust, it will lead you to a downfall spiral. Shannon Sharp has not managed his lust. And look at where it has landed him. There are probably people sitting and judging and criticizing Shannon Sharp, judging his character. All because he couldn't manage. And he's also probably being hard on himself because look at how much strife has been put into his life. All because he simply was just not paying attention to the symbols and signs that God was showing his way that say, hey, brother, this is not the way. This is not like me. Run from this. Do not accept this. Do not humble yourself and, cast away that arrogance, that thinks that you know more than I do. And the more that you continue to doubt God and to continue to think that God won't come down here and literally touch your life is a foolish way of thinking. Use my example as an experience that that is only required for you to go ahead and sharpen up. Manage your lust. We got to stop watching the pee. We got to stop watching porn, bro. We got to stop. We have to. God created that stuff. It's beautiful, but we cannot, pervert it. That is what's the problem. We cannot put our fleshly, worldly desires onto it. It will cast us away. It will lead us down a path in which we do not intend to be on. We do not need to have the arrogance that thinking that we can control this and we got a handle on this. I'm telling you guys, I pull out. My pull-out game was strong. It's still, I don't even like saying, but it still is. But it didn't matter in the end because I ended up finding myself in the same position as somebody whose pull-out game is not strong. So as much as I can say, yeah, my pull-out game's up, I got a girl pregnant. And the emotional, oh my gosh. Guys, part of me still wants to wish I had that baby. Because I felt like even though it wasn't in the covenant of God in the way that he intended to, it was probably the most beautiful thing I had ever done. That I won't see, that I obviously will not get to see to its fruition. But in the moment between the day the baby was conceived until the baby was no longer there, I felt proud of myself. Not necessarily, I knew what I had did was wrong, but I'm talking about the emotional impacts. Not only did I get a girl pregnant, but now I'm having to deal with the emotional damage that I'm about to experience. The thought, I'm a guy that's always wanted to have kids, that still to this day desires to be a father, a desire to raise my own and to continue, the values that were instilled in me. The fact that I was on the way, even though I knew that, and to give you guys, I didn't force the woman to get an abortion. We had conversations, and both of us felt like it was the best decision for both of our sakes, not just for one of our sakes, but we both, were comfortable with the decision that we made, But having to deal with that and to deal with the emotional damage of like, dang, bro, what if this opportunity never shows itself again because I didn't want to listen and pay attention to the signs? Now here I am dealing with the anxiety of my decision. Like, dang, am I supposed to get an abortion? Dang, what am I supposed to do? And I don't know if I made the right decision, but I made the decision where I felt like, I was like, hey, this is what feels right to me. Either decision I made, I felt like it was I found myself between a rock and a hard place. Simply put. It's like, oh, if I have the baby, then is the baby going to be in the best circumstances? Is it going to be in the way that it's going to be best? Like, or if I don't have the baby, is that's going to benefit me and the woman, and it'll be the best. Having to deal with that, my anxiety going up, like I said, like, dang, what if, okay, I've had an opportunity where I was able to conceive. What if I don't have the opportunity to conceive again? What's going to happen? I don't know, guys. I'm kind of just... So if you guys have seen my video recently in the past few months, I've seen God's power on display firsthand. Think about how arrogant I was. Think about how I thought I knew more. And how, you know, I was quick to ignore something that wasn't convenient to me because it's harder. I always tell you guys, don't make the easy wrong choice, make the harder right choice. But I made the easy wrong choice. It's easy for me to not, you know, show any discipline when it comes to managing my lust. It's easy for me to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and sleep with this girl. It's easy for me to go ahead and give into my fleshly desires. It's harder for me to save myself, to exercise discipline, showing God how much I love him by following his commandments, showing God my faith in him, that if I continue to live the way that he wants me to live, that I trust that in his plans for me in the future, that I am not trying to take my own plans and do what I want to do, thinking that I know more, but having all trust and faith in his plans and knowing that he will put me exactly where I'm supposed to be, give me everything that I desire and more. Jeremiah 29:11. I know that he has plans to give me a future and a hope, everything that I could ever desire for, knows exactly how I'm feeling and where I want to be. Fellas, there are consequences to the decisions you make. And the worst thing is that you can possibly do is to think that you know it all and you got it all figured out. Even and not listening to God in certain areas, picking and choosing when in areas you want to be a Christian or not. No, you got to fully commit 110% to this. There's nothing wrong with loving sex. There's nothing wrong with wanting to desire. God gave us that feeling for a reason, because he wanted us to feel that way with our spouses, the one that we choose to be with for the rest of our lives, so that way we can use that as a way to express our love to each other, but also recreate life with one another. There's nothing wrong with us. I'm not saying, oh, it's bad that you like sex. No, but it is bad if you don't have some sort of discipline or control over it. It's a problem when it has control over you and you don't have control over it. So, this is Josh Hope, being fully transparent, being fully open about the struggles that I battle. And I'm letting you guys know that there is no perfect being, and I am not perfect. But I will tell you, if you have not feared God and you have willingly, and this is your sign, God had put you on this video, got you watching this video after what? How long have it been? 23 minutes, going on 23 minutes. As a sign to show you, hey, bro, it's time to make a change. It's time to stop thinking we can control every aspect of this. We need to stop thinking that we are more powerful and more knowing than God. So, if you guys got any questions about this video, because I don't know if I covered every detail, and there may be some questions and things about that, but drop them under the comment section. But other than that, if you guys got any, other than that, that's all I got for y'all boys, man. Before y'all go, please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'm holla at y'all boys.